Read on Facebook.
Hey. So here we are to...
You got people there watching.
How about that? To answer questions, because we've been getting lots of questions about our upcoming courses. You may or may not know that we have 2 different courses open for enrollment right now. We have the Cantor Intensive course. It's a 1-month course, totally immersive course all about the Cantor. That's open right now. And a brand new course called our Straightness BETA course. It's brand new. We're creating it right now. So that's what it means by beta. And I was going to talk more about what exactly that means. And I was getting some questions about both of these courses. And I thought, hey, I bet if these people have questions, other people will too. And some people are probably afraid to ask their questions. So I'm hoping people will get on here and ask their questions. And so maybe first let's say, hey, hello to everybody.
Yeah, lots of veterans from the other courses watching.
Yeah.
So, very good.
Yeah. So, so how many of you on here have taken our courses?
Most of them.
Speak up and say something if you've taken one or several of our courses and you're watching. I see that some of them are on here. So I'd love it if a few people spoke up and just say, you don't have to say much about it. Just say, I'm here. I've survived. I'm still alive even after the fact. Carol Cox. She's in. Of course, Antonia Rooney. Great. No, new to me. In fact, if you have Holly Baccini, hi. And if you haven't yet, but you're considering, maybe you could say, I'm thinking about it.
Libby and Amy.
Barnes and Libby and Carol Cozy. Yes, Carol Cozy is my right-hand man. Woman. Sorry, Carol.
Fran.
And Fran is in our courses. Anne-Marie has just watched our Facebook Lives. Yes.
Yeah, very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Fran Griffith says the straightness course will be my 4th. Very good.
We have people that I've had people tell me, I'm just addicted. I'm just addicted to your courses.
Holly Bikini wants to know, I'm wondering if you will be presenting both in handbook and written work. We'll put the focus on the written work.
Well, I think she's asking about for the straightness course.
For the straightness, I know.
The Cantor course is obviously, it's all written work. It's in the whole course. We answer questions that people have about work at the lunge line and so on, but most people don't do much work in hand at the Cantor. You can at the long range. So if you have questions about that in the Cantor course, we can answer that. But in the straightness course, we focus on the written work. So so it adds a whole other layer of element if you've done other approaches to straightness training, right? Which is largely an in-hand approach. And so this adds a whole other layer on top of that. So,
I mean, what we could do is if somebody has questions about long reining, we
could
absolutely go a little into that. We had a lady we can address who participated in the What, Why, How course with the course at the long rein.
Yeah, she did everything at the long rein and
all the exercise at the long rein. So I can help with that.
Sure.
So, at the Cantor, you can do everything at the long rein too.
Right, but you're talking about the Cantor course. I'm talking about
for the straightness
course. This is largely the written approach. In fact, we incorporate a lot of work about the rider and how the rider influences the horse's crookedness and straightness, and how vice versa, how the horse influences the rider. So we go into that and we give exercises to address all of that. In fact, we can talk a little bit more about that, but let's maybe read through a couple comments. I wanted to find something that I had.
Phoenix. Phoenix always has to say hi.
Right on time.
I know.
The cat. So any good comments on there?
Yeah, Carolyn Duff Riddle says, I've done both the What, Why, How and the Cantor course. I think it's awesome how much we can learn in them. I don't have access to other instructors and have found the Ritters really fill the gap.
Oh, thank you, Carolyn.
That's very nice. And Yeah, Fran Griffith had said, just to say hi to everyone, the Ritter's courses are amazing. I did the first Cantor course, which was brilliant. I also did the original Beta What, Why, How course, which was outstanding. The Straightness course will be my fourth.
Yeah, so great. I wanted to talk a little bit about what each course was about. And then one of the big questions that I get is, what is a beta course? So, but first, the Cantor course is, like we said, it's mostly written work. It's a 1-month course. Let's see, I have a couple notes here. It's 5 modules covered over the span of 1 month. We have 5 Q&As. They often run at least over an hour long to accommodate all the questions, sometimes longer than that, very often longer than that. They're all recorded. You don't have to make it live. Many people don't or can't. They're all recorded, and you get access to the recording afterwards. You can even download it, the video or the audio file. So some people like to listen to them when they're driving or walking. So yeah, there's many ways to digest the content. All the materials, in fact, are downloadable. Every video, every audio file, every exercise, PDF, everything is downloadable. Both courses have their own members-only Facebook group, and we are very, very careful to preserve a supportive, encouraging atmosphere where there's no shaming allowed and everybody is safe and supported in their journey, no matter where you are. So you don't have to feel like you can't speak up because everybody else is more advanced than you. Nope, you're safe there. You're welcomed, you're supported. Everybody at every stage of the journey is welcomed openly. Yeah. And let's see, in the Cantor course, we cover the biomechanics of the canter and the footfalls of the canter, because of course it's very important to understand this and how it works. And of course, that leads right into the timing of the aids, because the rider's aids are all synchronized with the nature of the horse, with the biomechanics, the way the horse moves. And so the timing is dictated by the biomechanics and the footfalls. So we go into that quite a bit. We talk about what makes up a good canter. How can we define a good canter? And what are the ingredients of a good canter? How can you tell the difference between a good canter and a bad canter, a faulty canter? And what are the various faults in the canter, and which ones can be improved. Many of them can be, some of them only marginally, but we talk about that and give you the strategies that you can use to be able to approach each fault in the canter. And yeah, we talk about how to prepare for the canter, because the quality of your canter very much depends on the quality of your transition into the canter. And the quality of your transition depends on the quality of the gait beforehand. So whether you're in the walk or trot beforehand, the quality of that gait dictates how good your canter is going to be. So we do a lot of work to prepare the horse adequately for the canter, because that sets you up for success, and the horse. So why not start out ahead if you can, right? And so then we go into up transitions, how to properly ask for the up transition into the canter, from the walk, from the trot, and how to understand the timing of the aids to do the up transition, and dealing with problems in the up transitions. It's very common. In fact, we have a Facebook Live tomorrow, same time, same channel, all about how to improve your canter transitions, because it's a big deal. A lot of people have troubles with this. So we go into that in depth, and we talk about the seat and the aids in the canter. Of course, the rider has a big role to play in the canter. And down transitions, how to ask for down transition, how to get a good quality down transition from the canter to the trot, from the canter to the walk, and from the canter to the halt. We go into all of this. We go into lengthenings at the canter, how best to ask for lengthening and what makes a good lengthening. Yeah. And how to improve overall the quality of the canter. So exercises. This is very much an exercises-based course. We give you a lot of exercises. You're not going to probably use them all in the span of 1 month. So you have a lot of stuff you can come back to after that month to work on. And so we go into improving the quality of the canter depending on your horse's problems. We approach it from the standpoint of, here are the tools, and you can take these tools and use them however you need for your horse in your situation right now. We go into how to shape the canter with the rider's seat, with the aids, and using exercises to really shape the canter like a potter molds clay into a shape. Into, for example, some sort of vessel, a pot, a plate, a bowl, something. Or even maybe not on a wheel, but molds the clay into a statue or something, into a beautiful horse. We shape the canter using the energy created in the canter. And then we have a big bonus. We have an extra module. The 5th module is all about the counter canter. So it's in and of itself a little mini course, the counter canter module. So it's, for a lot of people, it's what they take and work on after the course is over, because that's a whole other project. And then we have 5 Q&As in that. And the 5th one is actually to be scheduled. It's sometime in the following month. In this case, it's in March. And it's meant to be more like a follow-up, and also to allow people to present questions that they have from the counter canter module. And as they are working through stuff, more questions will come up. We don't want to leave everybody hanging. So sometime in the month after, and we announce the time, date and time accordingly, so that everybody can prepare, but we have a follow-up Q&A. So that is, in a nutshell, what our canter course is. Should we talk about the straightness course a little bit, or should we answer questions about the canter course?
Either way. There were a couple more comments here. Like Carol Cox says, the education toward riding biomechanics has indirectly helped me improve my groundwork and handwork. That's a good point. Yeah. That certainly helps. And then Anja Schröder says, as a rider of Icelandics, I'm using the what, why, how as baseline to gymnasticize my horse and to discuss special gait-related issues with my trainers. What, why, how raised my knowledge significantly to analyze the status quo, point out issues, and apply the best instruments.
Awesome. Thank you, Anja.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's what we do in all the courses, no matter what the subject is. There's always a strong emphasis on understanding, where do things come from, what's the root of the problem, what is preventing the horse from doing what I would like to do, and troubleshooting so you can become your own trainer, essentially. You find your own solutions, when nobody's in the arena telling you more inside leg, more outside rein. Frank Griffith, I've done every one of your exercises in hand with my old mare at a walk. She was really stiff and arthritic, and it's really helped her. Yeah.
Cool.
I've followed them under saddle with my younger boy. I'm just starting to try and learn long reining. Very good.
Oh, fun.
Very good.
Amy Barnes says, I did the Beta What, Why, How course. I was also lucky enough to ride in clinics with the Ritters when they were in the US. Yes, you were. Yeah. It is amazing how much I learned in the online course. So much more detail about theory than is able to be addressed in a written lesson. I loved it. Exactly.
In the practical lessons, the focus is on the practical riding, and you can't go into a lot of detail with the theory, but here in the course you have both. You have a large number of practical exercises you can ride, but there's also the whole theoretical framework in the background that we always explain, and
it's really helpful, to
videos
understand
and
the theory
and stuff, so that you understand really what, why, and how. What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to do it, and why? What does it do? How does it affect the horse when you ride this exercise or that part of the exercise? And what do the aids do? How does the seat affect it?
How to analyze what is going on with your horse, and how to figure out why you have problems in certain parts of exercises and things, and how to figure out what to do about it, so that eventually, like he said, you can be your own trainer. Eventually, you don't need us.
That's the goal. And Cindy Marcet Curran says, I've been in every online course the Ritters have offered. Every course has been invaluable in training my horses. Even my gaited horses have benefited from the information and exercises in these courses. Feedback and support from the Ritters and group members add so much to the course material. The theory and detail details have taught me to think through problems and choose the right path for each individual horse. No cookie cutter training.
Exactly. No cookie cutter training.
Exactly. Yeah, we try to find individual solutions and then discuss the possibilities. So if somebody has a question, or if somebody suggests something, we can also talk about the pros and cons of that approach. Instead of saying there's one right way and everything else is wrong, you can say, well, you can go this way and it has that advantage, but it might have another disadvantage. And if you choose something else, it has different pros and cons. And so then you can choose what fits best. And now we have a really nice group of people who have taken one or more of these courses, who are experienced and knowledgeable, who can provide really good feedback to everybody else.
Yeah, the feedback in our groups from the other members is just as valuable as the feedback from us. It's just as helpful. In fact, we have several of the members of our courses that have come up into the position of being assistant teachers. And we have some other in real life students that we've brought into the courses to become assistant teachers. So they know our system. They've been riding with us for years. They know how this works. And so we've brought them in also as assistant teachers. So you don't just get us in any course that you take, you also get all of our assistants. Yeah,
that makes the experience even more well-rounded.
Yeah.
And we have participants from almost all levels. We have some lower level riders, and we have professionals and very highly advanced
That was
trainers.
one of the questions I was getting a lot of. What level horse and rider are these courses for? And we try to make it so that it's really all encompassing, but also at the same time individualized and customizable for every horse and rider. So as long as the horse is not totally green, the horse can be in the course. For the canter course, really the horse should be ready or about ready to do canter work. You shouldn't take a horse that's really not ready to canter. And if you're not sure, you can contact us and we can help give you a little bit of a way to determine whether that's the case or not. And for the straightness course, really, even a fairly green horse, you can already do this work with that horse.
All the exercises we do can be made easier or more difficult depending on the horse. You can tweak them, leave things out, make it easier, or you can add things in, make it harder. You can leave lateral movements out or add them in,
And we teach you in all of our courses, we teach you how to do that, how to modify the exercises, how to play with lateral movements so that it's not hard on the horse. So you can already start to incorporate them in with a fairly young horse or an arthritic horse or so on. You can, it doesn't have to be hard on the horse. In other words, you make it so that it fits your horse's needs. And what level for the rider, really, we try to make it so that we can take you where you are. We meet you where you are. If you don't have a lot of experience with dressage, you're going to have a steep learning curve, but we're here. Open arms. We're going to guide you along the way. You have a lot of support in the community. But we also have professionals. As he said, we have other teachers, trainers in the courses. We have people that are Western riders, trail riders, gated horse, a lot of gated horse people. They take our courses. It works. It's fine. No prejudices from us. There are jumpers in our courses.
The physiology is sort of the same, basically, in spite of all the differences between the breeds and the individuals. There are certain basics that are the same in all horses, right? And there are certain requirements that are the same in all disciplines, like balance and straightness and suppleness and lightness and responsiveness are elements that you want in all disciplines.
Right.
Whether you're a reining rider or a jumper or a dressage rider or a gated horse rider. Some of the goals are the same.
We have Western riders, people that ride in their Western saddles. We have people that ride without a saddle. We have people that ride with bitless bridles. It's okay. The tack doesn't matter. Your background doesn't matter. The horse's level only matters at the extreme low end. The same thing for the rider. If you're a real absolute beginner, well, you're probably not even watching us right now, you know? Yeah. So if you can understand what we're saying, it's probably going to work.
Yeah. And some of the trainers have said that they get good input that they can pass on to their students, so they get new ideas for the lessons they teach. So from that perspective, really everybody benefits. Everybody gets something out of it.
Yeah. We even have a couple of people that they're teachers, but they don't really ride themselves much anymore. But they take our courses because it complements what they're doing so well, and it gives them ideas. It gives them, it makes their teaching better.
Yeah, and they use some of the exercises we teach, or they use some of the explanations we give, and that sort of thing. But Kaisa had a question here. She says she needs the canter course, but she's a bit reluctant because her horse, with an uneducated Lipizzaner with nerves on the outside, needs to establish a good trot before we go on to the canter. I base this on how she gets all upset and sweaty and rushed the few times we try cantering. Am I wrong to think that she needs strength and coordination before we work on the canter? Yeah, for most horses, the trot should be fairly well balanced, and we go into that actually in the canter course too. But on the one hand, yes, you need a fairly decent trot before it makes sense to work on the canter with most horses, unless you have one that is actually better balanced in the canter than in the trot, which happens too. But you have lifetime access to the material, so you could take the course and study the theory and look
only
at
do the exercises that are applicable to you and your horse right now, and save the rest for later. That's an option.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of exercises that really prepare the horse for the canter and prepare the canter depart. And of course, you can ride these with or without the canter depart. So the way we like to structure is that we do a new exercise at the walk first, so that the horse and rider get a chance to look at the workspace and the pattern, and they familiarize themselves with where they need to go, what comes next, and the rider then can study where does the horse have problems in that exercise, how do I need to sit, how do I need to aid to guide the horse through the exercise. The horse then also, of course, has a chance to study the exercise and figure out, okay, first I have to go here, then I have to go there, then the weight changes, here the bend changes, here I have to cross over with that leg, and so on, here I have to move my shoulder. And so by doing that first at the walk, the horses develop the understanding and the body awareness and the coordination that they need to do it at the walk. Then when it flows well at the walk, you do it at the trot. When that goes well, then you can add the canter in. So you can let it develop gradually. And then you just take your time. You don't need to keep up with the speed at which we disseminate the information. You can take as long as you like, because
it's really an intensive course. Right. Nobody can do everything that we throw at you in 1 month, and it's not meant to be. It's meant to be to give you a whole bunch of information to take and work with from then on. But the really cool thing, he mentioned, you have lifetime access to all the materials. You also get to stay in the Facebook group. So when we offer the course again for others, you're in there and you can still follow along with the discussions and provide your own thoughts. You can ask your own questions. And what I do for the canter course, anytime anybody wants to upgrade to the new run of the canter course, it's only 10 euros. Almost everybody upgrades every time because they like being able to be part of it every time. And they got so much out of it. Oftentimes they'll bring a different horse through it the next time. But yeah, so it's all of our courses are like the course that keeps on giving because we're very all-inclusive, and you get open-ended access.
Exactly. And there are a number of people who've taken courses who couldn't ride at the moment because either the weather was bad or the horse was sick or they were pregnant and were about to give birth.
Or one week into the course, they, went skiing and broke their leg. Happens.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so they took the theoretical part and really familiarized themselves with that and studied the materials. And so by the time they were ready to ride again, or the horse was ready to ride again, they had a bit of a foundation, which makes it easier than to go into the practical part. So it's not that bad if you do the theory first and then do the practical part afterwards.
In fact, a few of them mentioned that when they got back to riding, it was almost like things had improved the entire time that they weren't riding. their horse was maybe a little out of shape, but besides that, the horse went better afterwards because they knew more.
The understanding had improved.
Yeah.
And and Juanita Bird was saying, since December 2017, I've learned so much compared to the last 4 years. I wish I found you guys earlier. Onward upwards. I cannot suggest your course highly enough. Fellow riders at delivery asked what I've done as I've improved so much. Yeah, that's amazing. That's cool. And Carol Cosi says, I have a sensitive PSL and did the first canter course because every attempt at canter resulted in him lifting into the canter and then falling straight onto his forehand and rushing off, motorbiking around the arena, unable to slow down or stop. It was terrifying. These are the typical balance issues that horses have, when they can't balance themselves and they get scared and they run away. And she said, after the canter course, we can now canter on both reins without the tension and fear. And he and myself showed before I learned to canter online. Still amazes me. And Sandy Kern says, I'm in the same spot with my OTTB. I'm taking the canter course.
Off the track thoroughbred.
I know.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the term.
You never know.
I know. I'm taking the canter course to prepare her for good canter work. Right now we have rushy, unbalanced canter, quite scary to ride.
Oh, yeah.
That can be. Yeah. Oh, and Eldor Saudadelsa says, my horse physio is following as it's so helpful. That's great.
That's great.
Yeah. We have also some physical therapists and osteopaths that take the course. That's true.
And they incorporate it into their teaching with their students.
Yeah, because for us, dressage is really physiotherapy for the horse.
Yeah.
So the movements are a byproduct on the one hand, and on the other hand, they're
tools.
A gymnastic tool. So it's not so much about teaching the horse a trick that you show off, but it's really using movements to develop the horse's gaits, make him balanced, make him supple, help him carry the weight of the rider better, more efficiently, less wear and tear. And Juanita Bird, my horse is on the forehand when cantering, but I'm doing it, and we'll help with that in the canter course too, with the seat. How you can help the horse with your seat to stay balanced.
One of the questions I had about the canter course actually was, is it heavily based on stirrup stepping? For those of you that don't know what stirrup stepping is, that's when you apply a little weight aid into the stirrup in sync with the footfalls stepping down of the horse. And this is a synchronized weight aid. And it can be overwhelming if you're new to it to learn these. We do have some stirrup stepping patterns in the canter course, but it's not based around that.
Exactly.
It's almost like that's an option to do. Here's a couple things you can do in addition, but it's not heavily.
Yeah, you can do the course without it. And people have trained horses to Grand Prix without knowing about stirrup stepping, obviously.
Yes.
So it's also something you could postpone if you feel like it's too overwhelming or too strange.
Just let it sink in. Just let it sink in and work on the other stuff.
Exactly.
It's not heavily focused on stirrup stepping. Neither of these courses.
There's always some in everything, but you don't need to apply it if you feel like doesn't make sense to you, or you can't feel the footfall or whatever.
Or you're just not open to it yet. That's okay. I get it. I was there. I totally get that.
We were skeptical.
Quite.
Oh, then here Carolyn DeFriddle says, what I liked is that a lot of the exercises for preparing the canter can be ridden with a quite green horse to prepare for what will come later. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a good point. There's this long-term dimension. The course is 4 weeks, but you can work on these things and take a year or 2 years until the horse is where he needs to be.
Yeah, we take your brain on a journey during that 4 weeks to understand how this all works together, but you're not really meant to do all of the work in those 4 weeks unless you have a bunch of horses to ride, in which case you can, but most people aren't in that situation. The point is we really want to change your understanding of how the canter works in those 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to take the brain on a journey. That's a good way of putting it. That's true. Yeah. Dawn Gray says that how Beta course turned our lives around. My funny little horse is complicated. So many call him naughty, but working through the course has totally changed everything. Ritterizing both of us gave me a better understanding of what was going on with him and gave us a roadmap to a better way. We just graded up again in the first show on Saturday. So keen to see if we can apply it all in a show setting.
Yay.
Yeah, Dawn's horse is one of those that have never read a book on dressage. They don't act like they're supposed to. They break all the rules, but I think now he's starting to follow the rules a little bit. He's completely transformed,
And his,
in this year. Yeah.
brain is really coming online, Yeah.
Yeah, he's come a long way.
So a couple more comments, and then I want to answer some more
L.
questions.
Wakefield says, I can say that the amount of information for everyone, new, amateur, or professional, and Carol Cox says these courses reach all levels. You and your horses just continue to grow together.
Thank you, everybody. I love how enthusiastic our course members are. I really love that.
Yeah, I know. It's a really nice community.
Yeah, it's amazing. Heartwarming, really.
Yeah. Dawn says, my physio is totally fascinated with the exercises that we do. She likes watching us ride to see how the work we do on the saddle marries so nicely with the physio work she does on him.
That's great. Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, and Sabine Holler says, I use your information a lot with my acupuncture clients to help their horses with recovery.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we get a lot of feedback from participants in the courses that say they're physiotherapists and who has been treating their horse for a couple of years, then comes and says, well, it's all good, I don't need to do anything, they don't need a treatment right now.
Or the farrier comes and says, what have you been doing?
Yeah, the hooves grow evenly and imbalances in the hooves.
Is this the same horse?
The saddle suddenly doesn't fit anymore because the musculature changes and grows. All of a sudden they need wider saddles. And
they're problems, but these are good problems to have. Yeah. You'd rather have that problem. Trading up your problems.
Yeah. Sandra Hase wants to know if there's another German canto course later
there will
this year.
Be. There will be in March. We open enrollment, I think, on April March. I can look it up. It's hard for me to keep track of everything in my head. Let me see here. I can look it up. Yeah, we're definitely doing the German course. It opens enrollment on the 24th of February, and the course starts on March 5th.
Andrea Hiscock says, as a human and veterinary physio, I hope more friends and clients join us as the progress I have seen is magnified with such team working holistically. Absolutely. Yeah. It's good if the physiotherapists and the trainers and the riders and so on can all work together. Then of course
it's a team.
A much bigger.
And that's the approach we try to take too. That we're not up here telling you what to do, commanding down on you. This is a team. We're all working as a team together, and your input is just as important as ours in your work with your horse.
Dawn was saying Copper is writing his own book on dressage. Very true.
Totally.
And Carolyn's Ori as well. They're both little unconventional horses.
Fran Griffith says, I did the canter course as a preparation for the canter. I don't think I actually cantered once. Actually, during the course, it's still worthwhile. Great perspective. Yeah.
Wakefield says almost everyone can do almost everything in hand if they're not ready for undersaddle. It's true. Most of the exercise you can do in hand.
Will there be a German straightness course? Steph is asking. Well, we were waiting to see what the interest level was.
There seems to be.
But I think so. So we
probably end up doing one.
I think we will. I'll have details soon. I think he's going to make me do it. So it's a lot of work for me. I'm behind the scenes, making everything behind the scenes. So it's a lot of work for me. So let's see here. Do we have any more questions about the canter course? Somebody had asked, what if they have no real arena to work in? Can you answer that one?
Yeah, we have participants in the other courses that don't have good arenas, but you can make do with a lot of it. You can do some of the stuff on trails.
Maybe a few exercises you won't be able to do because they really need an amount of space that you don't have. But a lot of them can be modified. You can take the principle and maybe take this part of an exercise and do it over here in this little open area on the trail, and then take this part of this exercise and bring it over here on the, you know, somewhere else that you're riding, you know, so you can take the elements of the exercises as ingredients in a recipe, and maybe instead of making the salad as one big salad, you have, you know, the tomatoes and cucumbers here, and you have the lettuce. I don't know. Bad analogy. I guess I'm hungry. But you have everything else over here, and it still can be two separate things that,
Yeah, you may have to get creative with the
They give you your vitamins. There you go.
With the space that you have. I mean, we have participants that have odd-shaped arenas or small arenas, and they have to modify the exercise, and you can modify most of them. There are a couple of exercises maybe that are hard to modify to a very small arena, or if you have exercises that have a lot of voltage, and that might be a little challenging on the trail, but a lot of things you can do out in, you know, riding cross country. And Cindy says, I made a makeshift arena in a flat corner of my pasture. There are several people who have to do that. And well, it works.
Work with what you have.
Exactly.
Is what we say. You most likely you can't run out and buy yourself an arena, or you would have already. So work with what you have. Make the best of what you have.
You have to get creative.
Yeah.
And again, the group can then maybe provide some input. Other people who are in the same situation can tell you what they've done.
You can even, you know, say, you know, post in the group, does anybody know how I could modify this for this amount of workspace that I have to work with? And people will chime in and say, you know, I took this and I did it like this, and you could try that. So they have great suggestions. It's like crowdsourcing your training.
Exactly,
And somebody asked, okay, what tack? I answered that. It pretty much doesn't matter.
Exactly.
What other equipment do I need?
Cones.
Some sort of cones or markers. You don't need to go out and buy the nice expensive cones. They're great. They're pretty. But you can make them from milk jugs that you fill with sand or water. Other people do other things. There's these little, they're little potties, right? The little potties.
Yeah,
from IKEA potties.
They work,
people use those. They're these little kind of rubbery plastic things that work great, and they don't go away. They also have these soccer discs.
Soccer discs. Yeah. They're cheap and they don't fly away in the wind and stuff.
And they're brightly colored, so you can see them.
Exactly. So they're easy to put out and gather up again. And Dawn says notebooks too. Other people are nice too. A lot of people make their own notebooks and print the materials and patterns.
If you have a printer, then you might use it. Although some people do everything exclusively on their phone or iPad. I think you have a few little challenges if you can only access on your tablet or your phone. But there are several people doing the course, and that's how they do it. And you work with what you have. And we'll all help you as much as we can. If I can't figure out a solution to your problem, post it in the group. And, you know, like when somebody had trouble playing the audio files, other people came up with solutions. They gave software, you know, free software solutions. Somebody else wanted to edit they wanted to post video of themselves. They didn't know how to edit the video. So people came up with suggestions of free video editing software. You know, our group is great. And that actually leads right into another question. Somebody asked, because one of the big pluses of this is that in our Facebook group, you can post video of yourself riding the exercise and get feedback on it from us, the assistants, and the other course members. And it's all really helpful. No shaming, nothing condescending. We're really supportive group. But somebody asked, do I have to post video? I'm really nervous. I don't like posting video of myself. And somebody else asked me, because they don't have access to a video camera and they're not going to go get one. And it's absolutely not necessary. It's optional. It's an added benefit if you want that feedback. If you don't, if you are not comfortable doing that, then don't do it. You can learn so much by looking at the videos that the others post. Because likely somebody else's horse is going to have the problem your horse has, or somebody else one of the other riders will have a same issue that you have, and you can relate to it, and you'll get the advice you need by watching them. Yeah. Learn vicariously through them.
Dawn says that Pixio did a roaring trade-off of these courses because a lot of people bought them.
These Pixio cameras, they're robotic cameras that you put a little sensor thing on you, and it's set up in the arena so that it follows you. The camera, follows you. You don't need a camera person, so you don't have to bore your husband or wife or partner, whatever. We're all welcoming here, to death. You just have a little camera that will. So yeah, I think Pixio did great on our courses. Sold a lot of these. The solo shot too, but I think the consensus was that Pixio was better.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Field test. Carol says loads of printer paper, loads of printer ink.
Yeah, there's lots of material. If you choose to print everything out, there's lots of material. Yeah. But you don't have to. A lot of people access it just on their devices as PDFs. It all comes as PDF files. So, yeah.
Sabine Hollis says cones, baby potties, printer paper, pen and notebook. If you can't get cones, use markers on fences, anything that helps you picture your writing space in squares and circles. Very true.
Yeah.
I like to visualize a writing arena as like a chessboard or checkerboard with little squares, right? Each square is half the width of the arena. That helps with the geometry, helps you design patterns, helps you also see patterns and make your own patterns.
That's where you have an advantage. If you do have an arena with fairly regular walls and fairly level footing, you have that advantage. But if you don't have that, then you make do.
Dawn says that I've had the most amazing feedback by uploading videos for comment. Everyone sees something different and has a unique take on ways to improve. That's very true. Depending on the background and level of writing, everybody sees a different detail and has different suggestion, and so that adds up to quite a rich
it's a really helpful group. Fran says a cameraman would be wonderful, and I would have loved to have posted and got feedback, but the courses are doable without. And Sue mows patterns in the grass, lawn mow.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's creative,
cool. That's cool. So somebody else wanted to know if you can't make the Q&As live, what then? I think I mentioned that, answered that, but I'll go ahead. Again, they're all recorded. So you don't have to watch it live. You can watch the recording in the Facebook group. The recording will be in there, but I also upload it to our course platform so that you can go watch it there, or you can even download it and watch it anytime you want, or download the audio file and listen to that. So you don't have to make it live to all of these. Some people have jobs, and some people want to sleep,
Now we have a worldwide audience too, so everybody's in a different time zone, so it's always in the middle of the night for someone. Yeah,
and I've staggered the Q&As so that some are for us, some are in the morning, and some are in the evening, and that means that it works, hopefully, some of the time for everybody. Let's see here. And somebody else had asked, what if I fall behind? And it's no problem. You can do it at your own pace. All of our courses are structured that way. We keep going at a certain pace, but you can follow along and do the exercises at the pace that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, you can even do them selectively. I think in the German course, somebody was asking just if everybody, how everybody does it, if they do like complete one module doing all the movements and then you move on to the next one, or but you don't have to. You can even say,
fact,
well, this
I would recommend you don't do that. You pick and choose, take what you want to listen to and watch out of each module and come back to the rest later and keep up if you can by sampling.
You can
like a buffet.
Start with the ones that seem inviting or interesting or simple first, and then do them, and then leave the maybe the daunting looking ones, leave them for later and come back to them. And
there'll be a time when you want to come back to it. Don't worry about that. So one of the questions about the Canner course was the cost. It is 349 euros. And we do have other currency options for payment. So I have it also and I don't have what those numbers are right here in front of me, I don't think. But we have it in US dollars also, and Canadian dollars and Australian dollars. So you can go check it out. I'll post the link, and you can go check it out, all of the payment options. If you click on the Enroll Now button, it'll take you to a page that shows you all the options.
Yep.
And if you have any questions on the Cantor course, you can post them while we're still here, because we're going to move on and talk about the Straightness course in just a minute. You can post them here even while we're talking about the Straightness course, or you can email us. Or you can get into our artistic dressage community and post in there, and most likely you'll get your question answered by all the other course members. Yeah, they know how it works. So let me post first the Cantor course, and then do you want to start talking about or are there any more questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay. We could start talking about the Straightness course. Yeah. Let me post this. Oh, come on.
Yeah, the Straightness course is a new one, so we'll offer it as a beta course.
Oh, actually, hold on real quick. Both of these courses, the enrollment closes tomorrow night. That's January 31st at midnight our time. So, and though there's one other question about the Cantor course I just remembered. Somebody wanted to know if we're going to offer it again soon. And we will be offering it again this year, but it will most likely be without the Q&As. And so it's more of a self-study version. And so you won't get the Q&As. So I would recommend you get in it now, because you can always watch the Q&As again later, you know, and then you can always upgrade when we offer it again with the Q&As for an additional 10 euros. It's no big deal. Yeah. I try to make it really inexpensive to upgrade to the newest course. Yeah. So sorry, now Straightness course.
Straightness, yeah. So it's a beta course, right? So it's
what is a beta course?
We were developing it basically together with the participants, with the first group.
Yeah, this is how we did our What, Why, How course. We did it as a beta. We had a good idea of what we wanted to teach in the course, but we let the participants help us shape the course. So their questions, their needs helps define what additional content we put in and how. So, and that's what we want to do here, because that was such an amazing way to develop the course. I don't think it would have been such a good course if we hadn't gotten all the input.
Yeah. So we basically start with what we think you need to know, and then you'll tell us what else you need to know, or where you need more clarification or more detail,
or suggestions. You know, I get emails from our course participants. You know, it would be great if you could do this and that, and we incorporated a lot of those suggestions.
It's doable.
And we did into the What, Why, How course. It took a while before we offered it again. Our first time we offered the What, Why, How course was in, it started in January of last year, and then it didn't start again until, what was it, November? You know, the final version didn't start until November, because we spent the entire summer basically refilming a bunch of parts of it, adding to it. We really worked on it to make it really good. And I don't know if that's how this one is going to play out or not, but we'll see. It
depends on the feedback we get.
Yeah.
So the participants really get to help shape the course.
Yeah.
So you're not just consumers, but you're co-creators, really.
Yeah. And
Super wants to know if you have a package for What, Why, How 2.0.
Yeah, I got your email. I don't have a package made up, but I'm going to answer your email. I'll answer your email. 2.0, for those of you that don't know, it's the our What, Why, How course is broken up into 1.0 and 2.0, and so
That was one of the results of the beta course.
It
was too much information.
The original course was 12 weeks long, and we took this and divided it into two, and now it's 24 weeks long.
It was a little overwhelming at first.
So
we made it a little bit more digestible.
So Sue, I will answer you because it won't apply to most people watching. Most people are eligible to take 2.0 because you have to take 1.0 first. So that's really only applicable to the people that are in our What, Why, How course. So I'll answer you privately. but I appreciate you asking. We should talk about what's covered in the straightness course. Yeah.
Straightness and crookedness.
There you go. No. Yeah. Okay. So the way we're thinking of doing this course is that in the first month, it's really to define the terms and terminology and to help you figure out, analyze, assess your situation. We're not fixing a whole lot in the first month. It's really about really getting a good grasp on the situation.
You understand the theoretical framework, like what is straight, what is crooked, how can you tell, what are symptoms, where do they come from?
And approaching it as a horse rider holistic unit. So the two are not separate. We do have separate issues sometimes that come, but it comes together because the horse and rider work together. So we want to really approach it not just addressing the horse, but addressing the rider too. And it's mainly a riding course. It's a rider-centered course. You can do a lot of the exercises and work on the ground, like some of the people mentioned, but it's not an in-hand course. Yeah.
So it will give you riding exercises again, and we want you to be able to diagnose whether your horse is hollow left or hollow right. And
in that first month, we want to help you understand the biomechanics involved within crookedness, what makes a horse crooked, and how does this work? How does this play out in the horse's movement and the rider too? How does this affect? How does a crookedness in one part of the body affect crookedness in the other parts of the body? Why do we want to be straight? Why is straightness important? In fact, you're gonna, if that question is important to you, you're going to love our next newsletter that comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, we discussed that a little bit.
It's about that. So
why bother straightening a horse?
And how to understand the difference between your horse's stiff side and hollow side. First, we define these because there's a lot of confusion between stiff side and hollow side. So that's the first thing we start with, really, in the course. Besides surveying where everybody kind of stands, the next thing is we define everything so that we're all speaking the same language, and then how the stiffness impacts the horse's training, how the hollow side impacts the horse's training. The key symptoms, what do you look for? How does this manifest? What happens? And then what happens to the horse as the horse becomes straighter? How does this impact the training as the horse becomes straighter? And we're also going to talk about the rider crookedness, the components in the rider's body that make the rider crooked, how this impacts the horse. And vice versa, like we talked about last night in our Facebook Live, but we go much deeper into it. The typical asymmetries of a rider that most riders deal with, and how to analyze your own crookedness. We're going to give you some ways to assess yourself, and hopefully at the end of the course, it'll be a little improved, or a lot. And how to analyze and assess your horse's crookedness too. So you understand where your starting point is. That's really important. You need to understand where you are to figure out the path you have to go. And exercises for increasing rider awareness, your awareness about your crookedness and straightness, and exercises to help diagnose your horses. Stiff side, hollow side. So that's month one. That's a lot. For 1 month, actually. And then we wanted to spend the next 2 months, months 2 and 3. And it's really a 10-week course, even though it's 3 months, because we take 2 weeks off to go on vacation. Because if we don't leave, I don't take the time off. So, and that's, you can look at that as time that you catch up if you're behind or something. So there's a 2-week break in the middle of that. But months 2 and 3 is basically to address and improve upon what we have determined, what we have found in month 1. So strategies for straightening your horse, strategies for straightening yourself, what to work towards and how to work towards that, exercises for the horse, how exercises that address the horse's stiff side, exercises that address the horse's hollow side, and then exercises that address both the stiff side and hollow side within the same exercise. Yeah, and exercises for the rider, to address your stiffness or lack of flexibility. If you have a tight psoas muscle, exercises to help strengthen the gluteal muscles, which increase your pelvic floor strength, which helps you incredibly in your riding. So even though you don't really use the glutes themselves, you use your pelvic floor an awful lot. So yeah, these things have a cascade effect. And so we're going to give you exercises in this course. I'm not an exercise professional, right? A fitness professional, but I have exercises that we have taught our students over the years, and that have been proven to be extremely helpful. And I'm right now talking with a Feldenkrais professional practitioner, and she actually, her business works a lot with riders, and she sees a lot of how this can help riders. And so I'm working with her to incorporate her into this course if possible. I'm working on that. So we can increase the benefit for you, by incorporating some Feldenkrais approach into the course.
Steph Mickey Mouse wants to know what she and her horse have to know to be able to participate in the straightness course. It's like with all the other courses, you can do it with a pretty young horse. There are simple things you can do, there are complicated things you can do. I mean, the theory applies to all horses, so that it's good to have that thorough understanding of, where the crookedness comes from, also how it affects balance and relaxation and suppleness, and impulsion and collection and rein contact and so on, because they're all connected to straightness and affected by straightness and crookedness. So, I mean, you can participate with a horse that doesn't have a lot of training yet. You don't need to be a very advanced rider yourself.
I would say
basically the same with all the.
I would say about
courses.
the same skill level for being able to go into our What, Why, How course.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually think you don't need to even be doing as much to go into this course as you do the canter course. I think.
Yeah, it's more basic than the canter course in a way.
I mean, but there's going to be advantage or opportunities, I should say, to make everything more complex. There will be alternative exercises and things for the more advanced horse and rider too, but you don't have to do those. They're not required to get through the course. Because, we want to provide something for everybody at every level of where they're at. So, if your horse is not ready to do, some half-pass exercise or an exercise that will improve the quality of your half-pass, right? Improve the straightness, relative straightness, right? The horse in the half-pass. If your horse is not doing that, you don't have to do the exercise. Obviously, save it until later. Come back to it someday. You're like, I remember there was this cool exercise in that, straightness course I took. So come back to it later if you need to.
Yeah, we can always, like with all the exercises and all the courses, make them easier, make them harder. You can always adjust.
And we want feedback from you. So as we're going through the course, if you want more exercises that are simpler patterns, we can do that. Just give us the feedback. Tell us what you need.
There's usually a simpler alternative or a more complicated alternative. That you can do. So.
You can always modify every exercise, but we want to really make this so that it is customizable to our participants in this first round. That is the point of a beta course, that we make it so it really, really is something that will help you. Not just what we think will help you, but something that really does help you.
So Jackie Walder wants to know, can we send videos of our riding for assessment?
In the course, what you do is you post them in the group. If you want video coaching, that's separate. We do video coaching, and that's on the side. That's a different arrangement. But if you post them into the course, we'll give you feedback and assessment for sure. But then the reason we want it, if it's part of the course, we want it in the group is because others can learn a great deal from that too. Yeah. Big part of this is perfecting your eye, really educating your eye. Even if you only ride one horse, you really want to educate your eye so you can see what's going on, so that you can, when you see yourself on video, you can become your own teacher, right? Most people have a friend that they work with, or, friends that they all help each other, then you can help each other, that sort of thing. In fact, we have a lot of people that their buddies will take the course with them. So, more questions?
Eva Levis is for all the ones still unsure about this course. I did the other Ritter courses and learned so much. It was an eye-opener for my riding, and it helped my horse a lot. It's true. She has really transformed.
Huge transformation, yes. Really amazing. You've done a great job, Eva.
Yeah. Also great is the private group community. Love them all. You get nice comments to your videos and questions. Everybody's happy for your improvements. So looking forward to the course.
Ava, you're wonderful. Yeah. Ava takes everything in English and German because she just can't get enough. And that's the other thing. If you want to do this straightness course, but you want to do it in German, but we're not offering it just yet, and we're not sure, you can take it in English, and there's a small add-on fee to add on the German course. I do that for all of our courses. So if you want to take in both languages, I make it really doable for you. It does cost a little bit extra, but not much. I make it a small fee. I want to make it doable.
Eldor says, looking forward to this one. I'm going to do it together with my hubby and his partner, Swartor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very good.
Very cool.
That's fun. Yeah, we have a couple of people now where the husband is joining too.
Yeah, we have a couple of husband-wife teams. And a couple of people that they and their trainer take the course together.
It's also good.
Yeah, it's a good combination too. Yeah. And so, do we have any questions? Like I said, with the straightness course, it's 10 weeks, approximately 10 modules, maybe then. I don't know. We might change the structure a little bit as we get into it and find out what people need. I'm really open to your input. We have 6 Q&As planned, plus the orientation Q&A. So that's on the first day of the course. We have an orientation Q&A where to help everybody figure out how this is going to work, and you can already start asking your questions there, but I'm not counting it as one of the official Q&As.
So Carol Cosi says the live video is interrupted. Can anybody still see us and hear us? Or is it stopped here on our devices too, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily.
I don't know.
Can you still hear us? Can you still see us?
Yeah, let us know. Says video interrupted.
Wittenbaugh says video interrupted, but can you hear us?
I have no idea.
Shirley Owen says I can. Oh, good.
No interruption
Antonia
here.
Rooney, I can hear and see. Oh, good. So at least it's not. Oh, and Sandy Morris Kern also no interruption here.
Okay.
It's good. Oh, good.
Hopefully it'll come back for Carol.
Yeah. Good.
Maybe somebody could.
Yeah. Video good. Okay, I can still see you. Oh, good. That's always a relief if it's not everybody who's affected. Nobody can see us and hear us, and
then
fold it. Oh, Eva says everything okay.
Okay, good.
And then Brinik also is.
Okay, good.
Oh, good. Very good.
Let's see. Do we have any more questions about either of the courses? I have you have lifetime access to the materials. Beta course is really cool because we do this all as a beta, and then if you enroll in the beta course, you are a founding member. You get automatic enrollment in the final version of this course. And so you basically get to take it all again without paying a dime more. Okay. And if you're unsure, I have a 100% full money back guarantee in the first 30 days. So you can get into it, see how it works, see how this all is, see if it's suitable for you. And if you don't love it, just let me know. And I'll give you your money back. No problem. No hard feelings at all. I know how it is. So for some people, a couple of people, one person, her horse died. I don't need to laugh, but it's like, how weird is that? And so she needed to save up her money to buy a new horse, so she got out of the course. Another person, she got sick, You know, that's okay. Another person just said, I just can't learn online. I'm sorry. I love what you guys do. I love everything about what you do. I love the books. I'll keep watching everything, but I can't learn online. No problem. No hard feelings. I have very few requests for refunds, but so far everybody has really loved the course, but if they had some other reason why they needed to get out, no problem. No problem at all. So there's really no risk. The cost for the beta course is 250 euros. I do offer other currency options. Again, you can pay in US dollars. Also, I don't have those numbers exactly. You'll have to click on the link that I post. US dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, those are the options. And I also offer, because this is a longer course, not just a month-long course, 3 payment plan, so it spread out over 3 months. So if it's hard for you to come up with the 250 euros this short notice, I totally get it. You can do a payment plan. Yeah. So those are the options. I can.
Question from Marcy Allard.
Yeah. What riding commitment is expected during the course? I'm reconditioning my horse from a tendon injury. She's strong and feels good, but I'm cautious. Good to be cautious.
Take your time.
Take your time. Go at your own pace. I would say digest all of everything and do what you do with your horse sparingly. Use your best judgment. You don't have to do any of the riding. Some people take our courses without doing any of the riding.
And we had several people who had horses who came back from injuries, and they just go slowly. You just have to listen to the horse, do as much as you feel is healthy for the horse.
Yeah.
And then when you feel like it's getting too much, then back off, take a break. You know?
Yeah. Use your best judgment and
the materials
pick and
always
choose.
there.
Pick and choose from the riding parts, what you want to do right now, and save the rest for later when your horse is stronger. Yeah. So I don't think that's a problem. In fact, maybe somebody else can get on that has had a horse, has gone through our courses that has had a horse dealing with that.
Yeah, the exercises might actually really help with the reconditioning. The rehab.
For sure, especially with tendon.
You just have to be always very, alert and listen to the horse. That you notice when something's starting to bother the horse. But
so we can pace our own. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, we want you to do that. We want you to tune in and listen to your intuition and your horse.
Now we have such a spread of horses and riders and levels that not everybody can realistically move at the same pace. So we design it so that everybody can go as fast or as slow as they want or as the horse needs. And so that's important to us, that there's a flexibility in there.
So Nan Brunig says, for all of you who are still doubting to sign up, just do it. It can be life-changing in your riding journey. I was a member of the first beta course and learned so much. Going a second time through, it made the foundation and understanding even deeper. So for me, it was a 10-second decision to also sign up for the upcoming beta course about straightness and horse and rider. Yeah, all my first signups were all of the people in the original beta course. They're like, yes.
Nan and her horse have also transformed that you can't recognize them if you see before and after pictures from the What, Why, How course.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't recognize it's the same horse.
Amazing. Ava too. She did such amazing work with her horse.
Another one. Yeah, absolutely. Eva had a hard time with a canter with her quarter horse mare.
Now she's cantering.
And now she's cantering really well and thinking of flying changes and so
in 1 year.
Within a year.
1 year.
That was very fast development.
Huge improvement. And in fact, the majority of that improvement happened in less than a year, but it's 1 year since she started the first course. Yeah. We started that in January. So Laura says, besides the course material, this is the most supportive, encouraging, warm group of equestrians you'll ever encounter in your horsemanship journey. It truly doesn't matter where you're at in your horsemanship journey. Everyone is welcome and treated with respect. Yes, this is really important to me. And we have a no shaming policy. This is really important to me. There's so much shaming that's prevalent in equestrian culture. And I have a zero tolerance policy for that. It's just not okay for me. Yeah. So I don't allow that. So let me continue. She says, as far as the writing commitment question, my favorite part about the way the Ritters structure their courses is that you can tweak practically every principle and exercise they present to suit the individual needs and limitations of you and your horse. Exactly. In fact, what we want more than anything is for you to become a thinking rider. We want you to be able to take charge, take authority over your own learning, and be able to think through things and figure out your own solutions. That's what we want. Yes.
And the principles are universal, which means they really apply to every horse and every rider. And you can apply the principles. Instead of making the horse fit some rule, some arbitrary rule, you try to find the underlying universals and then apply them, derive the version of that exercise or rule that fits the horse's needs.
Elle says, I went through a course after back surgery, so my horse sat in the field, and I did most of my course reading and watching.
There's several like that.
We had another one who was very pregnant when she took the course, and now she's taking the second round and riding it, I think. So Robin said yes, what Nan Brunig said. And Elder says, I agree with you, Nan. The courses are motivational and give structure as well as being supportive and fun. Lots of positive energy in the group. That helps us too. We like that nice warm environment too. You know, it's like our living room. You're in our living room right now. So, and Elle says, and learning, and let's see here. And Ava says, thank you. And Steph says, I think I'll be a beta again too. I hope so, Steph.
It'd be nice. It'd be great to have everybody.
Yes. And so, do we have more questions, guys? If you're thinking about the course, if you have any reservation, please just speak up. We can help answer your question. If the course is not a good fit, I want to be able to tell you so. I want to identify that now. I'd rather save you the time, and expense and trouble. If it's not a good fit, I definitely would like to identify that. So any more questions? Any more questions? So, well, I think that might be it. So, hey guys, if you have any more questions after this, you can email me at ritterdressage@gmail.com. Any other way that they should reach us? I could give your email address too.
Or
you can email Thomas at thomasritt, that's ThomasRitt, 2 T's, at gmail.com. So you can email both of us, either of us, it's fine. We'll personally answer your emails.
We can send a Facebook message too. That's always an option.
Don't message our page though, because the bot takes over. Message, I don't see half the messages. Every once in a while I see one and I'm like, I have to answer this. But I miss a lot because we have a bot that controls the Facebook page.
Marcy says she would love to join the beta course.
Yay, Marcy!
And Carol
says, I started the beta course hoping to train my own horses. 1 year later, I'm rehabilitating someone else's horses. I never thought I could impress this owner, but I have.
That's how it goes.
Good job. That's amazing. So again, we close enrollment tomorrow. That's Wednesday, the 31st, January 31st, at 12 o'clock midnight our time. We're Central European time. So that is 6 p.m., I guess? East Coast time, and East Coast
3
US.
p.m. West Coast time, Pacific time.
Okay.
We're 6 hours ahead of the East Coast and 7 hours ahead of Central time, 9 hours ahead of
and then
Pacific time.
Australian and
New Zealand is 12 hours ahead of us, if I know that correctly. And then I think
we have a couple people in New Zealand, so
Eastern,
they could maybe let us
Eastern
know.
Australia, I think then is like 10 hours, and Western Australia is 7 hours ahead of us, if I know that correctly.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts.
And the UK is 1 hour under us.
Yeah,
so
1 hour behind us. Yeah.
Behind us, yeah. And let's see, South Africa, I think, is in our same time zone.
I think it's the same time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have students all over. We have students in Costa Rica and Brazil and Peru and Ecuador and Norway and Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Spain, France, Morocco, Portugal, Italy, Latvia. Oh gosh, there were some other interesting. We have students all over countries that I've
it's worldwide now.
never even heard of. Yeah, so it's pretty wild. It's a really neat group. So join us. Yeah,
sure.
And like I said, if you don't love it, just let me know, and I'll give you your money back in the first 30 days. No big deal.
Shirley Owens is really looking forward to both courses. Yeah, so
me too.
It'll be fun. And the canter course will be good preparation for flying changes. It basically leads you and your horse to the point where you can start working on canter half passes and flying changes.
I mean, a lot of people do in the canter course already. A lot of people experience their first flying change in the canter course. Yeah, that's true.
There was a byproduct. Some horses then started offering it. And so, I mean, depending on where your horse is, it's not that within a month you're ready to do flying changes.
From beginning to flying changes,
but
that's unrealistic.
when you've worked through the course materials, whether it takes a month or a year or 2 years, at the end you will be at the point where flying changes start really to become a serious possibility.
It's time. It's really good on time.
Exactly.
And we do have a flying changes course coming up. So if you wanted to take the flying changes course, but you're not quite sure your horse is ready for that, take the canter course first.
Yeah, exactly. It builds the prerequisites that the horse needs to do flying changes.
Yeah.
So it's like canter work to the doorstep of the more advanced canter movements. So.
Yeah, Elder says, I met a German Ritter student in Iceland and I'm from the UK. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, I think I know who that was.
Yeah,
it's funny, huh? Quite a community of Icelandic riders here in our courses.
So if you have a gaited horse and you're not sure if you will fit in, you're going to do fine. So
yes, the pay bonus if you can do a flying change. With the Icelandics it's tricky with the flying changes, but supposedly there are some who do.
There are some that can do it. So
just they
challenge accepted. So thanks everybody for joining us. And again, like I said, if you have any questions, just pop us an email, or if you're Facebook friends with us, send us a message, or even if you're not, send us a message on our personal accounts. That's fine. Or friends, it's fine. I still accept friend requests.
Yeah, I still have a little bit of capacity too.
I wish I could do this one else as well.
We need my goal by taking these courses to have a nice, simple canter and straight supple horse. Well, that should be doable.
That's a great,
it's a great goal.
Great goal. Yeah. Great set of goals. In fact, part of the canter course in the first week, you have to set your intention. So you have a clear idea of what you're looking to get out of the course. It's a very purposeful way to go into the course content. And so, some of our people are already doing that and sending me their intentions. And,
that's good.
So Elle, well, message me and let's talk about it. Okay? She said, I wish I could do this one, frowny face. So, let's talk about this. Maybe I can help in some way. Okay? So thank you everybody for joining us. We love you all. And one more thing, we have another Facebook Live tomorrow. This is how to improve your canter departs. So 7 o'clock Central European time, right here on the Ritter Dressage page. And we'd love to see you there. Even if you don't need help with your canter departs, get on there, join us. We love it. We make it a party, kind of. This is how we party. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank
you joining us, and see you later.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.